Hello everybody and welcome to Uprising 144K. I'm Hydrogen Man. Guys, I got a great video for you today, but before I begin, I want to let you know I am not giving you any medical advice and I am not making any medical claims. And with that said, let's go ahead and move forward. This video is really going to help teach you something new and interesting about cancer and cancer cells. Let me share with you what these scientists from Singapore are doing. This is incredibly interesting. Look at the title. Experimental cancer treatment destroys cancer cells without using any drugs. Guys, that's huge. How in the heck are they doing it without using drugs? Well, I'll tell you right now that it has to do with the way that cancer works. They're using the #1 cancer food, stuff that just cancer loves. And everybody tends to think that cancer just loves sugar. And although that's true, all our cells primarily like to use glucose for energy. This is different, guys, because even I learned something very interesting. I'm always learning and I'm always reading, and this one just blew my mind. Check this out. Basically, what they're using is they're going to be using a specific amino acid right here. It's called L-phenylalanine. Now, this specific amino acid, the cancer cells absolutely love this stuff. From what I'm reading, this is like the #1 food that they like. And guess what? This stuff is not made in our body. Now it says right here, it's one of several acids that cancer cells rely on because they use it to grow. However, it's not made in the body. And then I started researching, well, what is it in? And it tells you right here, but it's absorbed from meat and dairy products. It is found, guys, in such large amounts, the largest actually, in meat, in chicken, in pork, beef, all these type of products, and of course, dairy products. So this lets us know something very interesting because I think it explains to me as to why a lot of people with cancer who have done a lot of fasting and who rely on a lot of fruits and vegetables instead of these type of nutrients are able to sometimes beat cancer. I've read a lot of those stories. But let's go ahead and keep going on here because what they're using, and this is where it gets really interesting, what they've created, they call it nano-PPAM. But basically what it is they're using the amino acid and they're wrapping it around silica. Now, I don't know if they mention it here, but that's what they're doing. And that appears to actually kill the cancer cells. Now, the reason that this is interesting is because silica is something already approved by our government as something that's technically safe for us. So let's see if we can learn a little. It triggered, okay, so the self-destruction mode is triggered as a nanoparticle puts production of certain chemicals known as reactive oxygen species into overdrive. So it's not just a normal ROS, guys. It's not just a normal reactive oxygen species. It goes nuts. That's why they called it right here. They just say it goes into overdrive. And it goes into so much so that it's enough to bring down the cancer cells while leaving the neighboring cells healthy. Or right here, neighboring healthy cells intact. This literally goes against conventional wisdom, guys. So this, I think, is, well, let's see, they share it here somewhere. They are using it as a Trojan horse because the cancer likes this amino acid so much that it literally will let it right into the cell, and that's where they put the silica inside, which this whole kind of concoction that they've created, again, they call it nano-PPAM, and it's able to kill about 80% of the breast, skin, and gastric cancer cells. Now, this is in mice, but this is on par, guys, with current chemotherapy drugs without all the side effects. And it says, while dangerous to cancer cells, it's based on a silica nanoparticle. See right here, classed as safe to humans by the U.S. food regulators. So this is, again, super huge, guys. The sad part is that they're saying that it's going to take at least 5 and probably more like 10 to 15 years before we can use this. And that is just mind-blowing to me. However, they did talk about how if you know how to control the diet and know how to eliminate certain things out of your diet and do maybe some fasting, because the science on fasting also, and they know the cancer has a correlation with worms and parasites. They literally talked about how you might be able to use that to your advantage when you're fighting something like cancer. Unfortunately, it also stated that some people will have a very hard time doing that, and I can totally understand that because to go without food and do fasting, but then you have to make sure that you're not going to be malnutrition. For people to change their diet and avoid things like meat and dairy products and whatnot would be very difficult for a lot of people, but it's possible. What makes me sad is that it's going to take so long for something that's so simple it will take it so long for it to eventually see the light of day, and be used on humans. And in my opinion, guys, you may never hear of this again. This just might disappear. So I wanted to share this with you guys because I think it's very, very important information. And I personally think that this could be used in combination with hydrogen also. But in my opinion, this is just something very informative about how cancer works. I hope you guys found it helpful as usual. Don't forget to support the channel by giving the video a thumbs up. Don't forget to share it. A lot of people who are dealing with cancer should know this information. That's very important. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed, as it helps the channel. And that way you can keep up to date on all my videos that are coming up. So thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time on the next one.